So I thought I'd do a quick midweek update or an early midweek update because we've got one or two bits going on, even though we've had some rain this last weekend. So I might do another one Thursday night, I'm not quite sure. But this afternoon I'm nipping across to a friend's farm to see some maize being silaged and also it loaded into lorries with a mouse. Now this isn't a mouse as you know it with four legs and a long tail. It's a sugar beet loading machine. It's been adapted to load silage over a lorry. So I'll have that either on Thursday or Sunday's update. Anyway, in this update we're just looking at the rainfall we've had, because this last weekend we had about 30 millimetres over the course of the weekend and Monday, and it's done a lot of good really. We don't want much more, but the only thing it hasn't done any good for is the capulate beans that we still have to harvest. So I'm not quite sure when we're going to get those done, but we do need a few fine days now to do those. But all the hard soil we had and the sugar beet that we're going to be harvesting in the next few days, it's done that. The rain's done that a huge amount of good. So in this short update we are talking to Base UK. They are an organisation to look at regen farming, and also they're doing lots of things regarding the environment and farming in a different way, and they're exhibiting at the Seals event. So we've got a 3-minute interview about that I recorded the other day. Also we're looking at the Bale grab, that we're making some brackets to fit that, and we've got that sorted now, ready for when Paul comes back and hits us hard next week with some more bales. When Michael Porter, neighbouring farm, was combining black oats, I got another bit of a 5-minute clip of him talking about his farm. Really fascinating about their farm, and two young guys at farming, and in a really good way. And also we've got some wheat going out that we sold only about a month ago, and we've got loading the lorry as well, or some lorries with wheat. So let's crack on with this update. Thanks very much for watching, and if we make it to the end, we'll see you then. So we've just seen Cortiva on the Seals event site. I've now got Steve here from Base. So Steve, what is Base and what does it stand for?
Well, Base is an organisation that I was one of the founder members of, which we set up in 2012 after a meeting with a guy called Frederick Thomas in France, who set up something called BAS, which was set up in Brittany.
Yeah.
And we actually changed the name. We now call it BASE, which is Biodiversity, Agriculture, Soil and Environment.
So a lovely short name then.
Oh yeah, yeah, we inherited that.
Yeah, but I mean, it probably encompasses all those 4 words, encompass what you do and what you're all about. So what is the idea of Base, and what do you do as a group?
Well, as I say, we started it in 2012. There's a group of us who were trying to change the way we farm into a more, so say, environmentally friendly way.
Yeah.
And we couldn't find any information, and we were talking to each other and just pushing ideas between ourselves. So we felt that we wanted to widen that out to a larger audience, and so starting off with a small group, as we did, we've now got over 500 members all over the country.
And is that farmers or is that a trade as well?
80% of the members will always be farmers.
Right.
We have a 2-day conference where we always have long breaks between the speakers, because everybody just wants to talk to each other.
Yeah. And so when is the conference this year or next year?
That's in February, in Newcastle this next year.
Yeah.
We do move that around the country as well.
And can anybody go to that, or do you just have to be a member?
Yeah, anybody can go, but if you're a non-member, it will cost you a bit more.
Oh, right, okay. And so the idea really is to collaborate, is share ideas and talk and just help each other with this journey.
Yeah, with changing the way we farm, into what is now called a more regenerative system. Just coming out of the ground a bit more than they have done, maybe not subsoiling the whole field. If there's a bit of compaction, just do a corner or whatever. Because
the one word I sometimes have a problem with on my own farm, not on this soil type where we are here, because it's really light and easy, on our heavy soils, when you start to look at regenerative and things like that and what it encompasses, we've done lots of trials over the last 7-8 years with direct drilling and cover crops. And when you compare a less is more approach, we end up cutting our yields at harvest time. And for us, I think we have to be very careful that the minute we start to cut yields, we actually then need to import more food from abroad, which then means, is it regenerative? Because we actually may be damaging the environment more.
Yeah, well, I'm not. I think the point is that, and I think you would agree, that you actually look at your soil more than you used to.
Yeah.
And you think about the soil and the environment much more than you would have done 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think if everybody just moves slightly that way, that is going to help the whole industry from all sorts of reasons.
Yeah. So moving to the event this year, which is on the 11th and 12th of June, that hopefully lots of people will come. You've got a stand here. What are you aiming to do? What are you going to be doing on those 2 days?
Yeah, we've got quite a big stand. We're actually going to be having seminars on the stand. At the moment, the content is still to be agreed.
Yeah.
But it will be open to everybody.
So as well, it's an area where members can socialise and can share ideas, collaborate, in a meeting point for everybody to go to.
Yeah, that's the main thing. That's what we really want, is to get lots of people there, all sharing ideas.
Yeah. Great. Well, we're going to have 2 fantastic days, and we'll see you before then. But thanks very much, Steve.
No problem.
We're going to start moving a lot more of the bales very shortly. Paul's going to be doing it probably in the next week with Ryan as well. I'm thinking they're going to get another haulier in. And Paul managed to get an MX special bale grab that we can borrow for a few weeks, but we hadn't. It had got different brackets on it. It had got JCB brackets for the forklift rather than Manitou. So we needed to get something sorted. So I'll just show you what we've done, but we've got to weld bits together. Just see, looking at our Manitou here, it hooks on like that. With this attachment, the spacing has to be dead right because of the carriage. We'll show you when we get this off this forks, but you can see how it hooks on that bar there and on that bar there. So we bought a few days ago a weld-on headstock as such. So this is it. You can see here. So the Manitou hooks, you've just seen will hook in there, and it'll hook in there. And then we've got to weld all that onto this grab. Here's the bale grab, and we've got to weld it onto these plates. Now, we've got Bale trailers to cut these 2 plates out, and it just shows you how good laser is. It was cut out of a big sheet, and then the laser drilled these holes, and just look how smooth those holes are. Just incredible. So we've done this because when this clamp goes back, when this bale grab goes back, this attachment, all this headstock and everything will be ours, and we'll take that off. And then if we bail any more in the future years, we've actually got the right headstock to go with our Manitou. So we'll weld that on. But the reason we bolted on here first instead of welding on first, because when we weld, we're going to weld all the way down there, which is all the way down there onto these plates. It will actually try and twist that metal, and it will try and twist this up like that, make it sort of curved because of the heat. So we thought bolting it with U-clamps like this and bolting that down there, we'll put bolts in up here as well, clamp that down before we weld it. It'll stop it twisting and heat causing so much distortion. That's what we're going to do, and then we'll get it painted and it'll be all ready for Paul and Ryan to get a load more bales for us. If you remember from last Sunday's update, where I'd got our neighbour and friend Michael Porter coming with his combine to harvest the black oats, and I'd got another few minutes chat with him in the cab about their farm, the machinery and cropping and farming policy. Well, now I'm just going to show you that. So I said that was it a minute ago, but one more thing I think we haven't spoken about, James, and people will be interested in. Sorry, Michael. James is Michael's older brother, who we said a minute ago. Yeah, one thing, Michael, we were talking about was machinery and cultivations, and we're having a job working land at the minute. And viewers saw in the video a few days ago the Xerion, which was on your land. So yeah, I didn't point that out. The Xerion you've seen was on Michael's land, and impressive tractor.
Yeah, it was a really good tractor, really impressive demonstration, great tractor for fuel efficiency. I think it's sort of really taken on all those quad tracks that you can get on the market, and you being a man who's had quad tracks in the past, I think you were even impressed.
I thought it was brilliant. I mean, we've had 3 quad tracks, and I know the quad tracks are older technology, but I must admit that Xerion really blew me away with its gearbox, the cab, the quietness, the suspension, just absolutely everything.
Yeah, no, they've got it. They've definitely got it right. With this tractor, I think it'll be impressive to see it properly out in fields come next year.
Yeah, sorry, the phone's wobbling a bit, so I'll try and hold it a bit better. Machinery cultivation wise, what do you use for your main cultivations?
So this year we recently took on a John Deere 8RX like yours, but with the e-auto power gearbox. We had one on demonstration last year for Farrell's, and yeah, it was really impressive. It started pulling a machine that everyone says on paper it shouldn't, the 5 meter Sumo Quattro that we have, and it just kept on pulling it. No different to a 500 horsepower Xerion that we've had for 12 years on the farm.
So that you've had 2 Zerions, didn't you? That's wheeled ones.
We had four wheeled Zerions. So the old cultivations that we did was we'd have a top down, go do 1 pass, then we'd have a subsoiler go and do the 2nd pass, and then it would press it just before the drill.
Yeah.
But with fuel prices going up, what they have done over the past 4 years, James and I sort of looked at putting in less passes to obviously lower the fuel consumption on the farm, but it's similar soils to what you farm.
Yeah.
It's a lot of it is heavy clay loams. We've got a few medium loams in there, and where we've got potatoes, which is land that we took on 2 years ago. Yeah. That's more you've got more sandy clay loams there, which are more ideal for those sort of root crops. But majority of the farm is sort of clay loams, so we always had big horsepower ripping up the soil and making sure that our drainage was being used to its full capacity, because my father has invested a lot of money into the drainage on the farm, which for us is
absolutely paramount on heavy land.
Exactly. And for James and I, we want to make sure that is always looked after for generations, really, because it's silent. It's a silent. No one even realises that it's there, and it's just doing so much for us.
And then your sprayer, what are you on them?
We run a 48 metre AgriFact Condor 5, 5,000 litre tank, which this has been my first year of driving it, and it is definitely one way of learning how to drive a sprayer. Yeah,
and is the boom all right? Does it standing up to it?
Yeah, it's brilliant. The boom on an AgriFact is, everyone will argue that the Porsche is the best, but personally for me, even though it is only the only sprayer that I've driven, but the boom on it is unbelievable, with the ultrasonic sensors on the front of it, keeping it its level. And right now I've been doing some glyphosating on land that has only been 1 pass sumo, and it's really rough, but you look behind
and the boom's really stable.
It's just staying there, it's not moving around at all, not dropping on the floor, nothing. It's brilliant. And that's going 16.5k, and you'd think that something's going to break,
but obviously with your chicken muck, the amount of nitrogen you're putting on isn't much, I suppose, because your chicken muck provides a good bit of it.
So chicken muck, we have a lot of residual N that we've been doing a lot of testing on this year, and usually we're looking at only really putting on 120 kilos of N in the spring. And that's it. That's usually what.
That's extra on top of.
On top of. And this year, coming into this season, we're going to be moving on to liquid fert. And doing all liquid fert, running it straight out of the sprayer. 48 metres, you can cover some ground, and it's less wheeling in the fields.
We've been on liquid now for probably 5 or 6 years, and it's absolutely revolutionised. It's a game changer, to be honest. And you can go on days when you can't spread fertiliser, and it's easy to deal with, and it's just kind of on the crop. It gets into the crop quicker, when you haven't in a dry time.
Exactly.
And so there's numerous benefits to it.
I think because we've been using it, we've been having a tractor that is it's not getting the hours on over the year. It's been waiting till spring to go on the spreader. Whereas we've got the sprayer, we can get the work, a bit more work out of it as well, and make it earn its keep. The spreaders now that you get, they're massive. So the weight that the soil damage that you're getting from them, I think is worth us with the sprayer that we have moving to that.
Right, I think that's covered everything. Thanks, Michael. And we'll come and have a look sometime when you eventually do get this facility, this grain started, and have a few updates during its building process.
Yeah, for sure.
Great, thanks, Michael.
Cheers.
It's Monday morning, and Tom's off work today. He's going to have done something to his ankle, which is a shame. Hope he's going to get sorted with that. It's always bad when you've got an ankle or a knee problem. Anyway, had a good day Saturday, getting lots of subsoiling done, a lot of work done. You saw it in the video on Sunday. So we're up to date with a lot of things. Just got the baked beans, these capulette beans to harvest, which I'm a bit concerned about, but can't do anything about that. Anyway, Ruben's here, and we're just putting a lot of machinery away in undercover, because we've got a lot of weather, rain this week, and all this kit, this Simba kit, wants looking after. It costs a lot to replace it. You can't go off to replace the Simba kit now, so Ruben's just putting everything undercover. So we've got the solar and press here that needs putting away, and we've got the sugar beet cleaner over there, a few bits in that corner we need to put undercover as well. And then he's going to wash the the blackgrass welfare trailer. We're going to wash that inside, because it's got a bit of mud in from when they were pulling, when they had the blackgrass pullers here, and they were pulling and got muddy feet inside. We're going to wash that and take it up to the heath and put it in the shed out the way. It takes a lot of backing. So that's got the Elita and press backed in. The Bowser's in here already. Combine's there and the header to the side of it there. So that's good, all under cover. We've got a week of rain, I think. We've got some more wheat going from the farm today. You can see Ruben loading it behind. This wheat was only sold about a month ago, and we needed to get some cash coming in to pay for some fuel and various bits and bobs. And this is going out at £180 a tonne, so it's ordinary feed wheat. As I say, only just sold, which price isn't brilliant, and I'm going to work out the full cost of production of all our crops over the winter in the next few weeks, and I'll let you know what those are, because I think it'd be quite fascinating. I know there's not a lot of margin in that £180 a tonne, and but it's what it is. There's only 4 loads going, but we've got some here. This is from Combine. The moisture's okay, but the bushel weight is really good, whereas we've got some in another shed just next door here that's the other way around. The bushel weight's not good. It's a lot lower, so we might have to blend it to get it through so we don't have any deductions. Anyway, we'll have a look at this and just show you Ruben loading the wheat. So this shed would normally be full, but because we had less acres grown, we had a lot of bare fields this year, we're short of crop as well. So this is why I've been saying for a long while that the pinch will hit us and a lot of people after Christmas when we're spending a lot of money on inputs on crops that we've got in the ground now, but we've got less harvest, less tons from this harvest to pay for the inputs. That's when it'll hit us. That's just some screenings from when we treated our own seed 2 or 3 weeks ago. That will just mix in, no problem. Ruben's just finishing off loading that load. I just thought I'd come up here from the walkway at the top above the crops. Normally we'd have this wheat a lot deeper than this. We'd normally put the wheat right up to that rail, that grey rail there, and up to the stirrer beam. But we haven't put as much in this time, so we no need to fill it to full. And this is the oilseed rape that we store for ADM. This is other farmers' crop, and there's rape the other side of that as well. Over there. So we've got the bracket all finished. Tom's done a good job welding that on, and these are the plates that Bale trailers cut, and you can see there fits on a treat really on there with the clamps that we put around it. And so when this clamp goes back, this bale grab goes back, when Paul takes it back when we finish the bales, we'll be able to take these brackets off and then be able to use those on another machine if we need. So I'll just show you how that hooks on with the forklift, and these are all the other attachments we've got for the Manitou. So those 2 hooks there on the carriage of the Manitou, they hook underneath there, and then we crowd it back, and then the locking pins go through that bottom there. So you can see I just push the grab forward like that. You can just see it hook under there, crowd it back like that, and then we can pull it back to us if we want. And that's it, hooked on. So there we are, that's got it all hooked on there. Locking pins in, so it's all secure. And then every forklift has a different attachment. So this is how Manitou do theirs. JCB are different. And what else have we got? We've got Kramer's are different as well. But what you can have, if you've got all attachments like we have, that's got the Manitou brackets on, you can see that sort of a muck grab we've got there, that's got the Manitou bracket on there. And this access cage has as well. You can actually get, say, a JCB forklift with a Manitou headstock, as it's called, and you can get that so that you don't have to change all the attachments, because obviously changing all these attachments just because the headstock's wrong is a costly job. So most manufacturers offer different headstocks, so you could actually have a Manitou forklift like this with a JCB headstock, and all manufacturers offer that, and it's just one way of getting around not having to change all your attachments if you change brand of forklift. So that's it for this early midweek update. Hopefully, if this fine weather keeps going, tomorrow we're going to be putting the grass seed on the cereal site all around the car park and the walkways and the exhibitor stand. So we'll see if we can get that done. But anyway, thanks ever so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.